Hey everyone, Chris Ruhm with the Ruhm-Insurance Agency, licensed independent insurance agent located in Cincinnati, Ohio. Currently hold a license in 20 states. Today I'm going to talk about Medicare Supplement Plan G and High Deductible G in 2026. So let's jump into original Medicare real quick. The Part A deductible this year is $1,736. Part B is $283. Part B premium from Social Security is $202.90. That's assuming you don't have an income-related monthly adjustment. And then when you get a Medicare supplement plan, you also need a standalone prescription drug plan, and those range in price from $0 up to $100+. It just depends on what medications you're taking. You could have an income-related monthly adjustment on your premium as well. And one thing we'll talk about is how well Medicare negotiates rates in determining which plan works best for you. All right. So why Medicare supplements? Well, they provide predictable expenses. You have the ability to see any doctor or hospital in the country that accepts Medicare. You don't need prior authorizations, pre-approvals, referrals, any of that stuff. And they are guaranteed renewable for as long as you have the plan. So as long as you pay your premium, the plan is yours. And then Medicare supplements are standardized across the country. So when I talk about GN and High Deductible G, the only real difference between these plans is premium. It's important to pick a good insurance company because they can provide a little bit more stability and rates, but the only difference, unless they offer some type of value added benefit, the premium is the only difference in these plans. So we're going to talk about Plan G first. Plan G covers all of Part A. So back in the second slide, I showed Part A has a $1,736 deductible. You don't have to worry about it with this plan. It's covered. The Part B deductible is $283. Once you meet that on this plan, the plan pays 100%. So your worst case scenario is premium times 12 plus the Part B deductible. And I'll get into premiums in a little bit on Plan G just so you have a rough idea. It varies by literally city and state and country, whatever. I don't know why I said country, but I meant county. But this plan is considered the richest plan one can get in that's aged into Medicare after January 1st, 2020. If you aged in before that, you can still get Plan F, and you don't even have to worry about the Part B deductible. You pay your premium, and everything is covered that original Medicare covers. This is typically for people that don't want to jump through hoops and simply want the best plan. If you have a lot of chronic conditions, this is a great plan because it provides very predictable expenses and it gives you easy access to all services. You don't have to worry about any networks and stuff like that. As long as you can handle the rate increases over the life of the policy, you will have them every year typically. This plan starts off pretty expensive and it can get really expensive as you get into your later years. So that's just something to consider when you're considering Plan G. But it is considered the best plan in Medicare because of its predictable expenses. Plan N is a great alternative. It covers all of Part A still, so you don't have to worry about hospitalizations. You have a $0 to $20 copay for doctor visits, a $50 ER copay if you're not admitted, and then you have a Part B deductible still of $283, so you're still responsible. So let's say you go to a doctor and it's a $20 copay for that particular visit, and then they order an MRI that is $283. Well, now you've met your $283, you're done for the year, okay? So you do have the deductible with this plan as well. Potential excess charges in states that allow it. Not every state allows excess charges, but if they do, if a doctor accepts the non-participating Medicare rate versus participating, you might owe 15% over the Medicare negotiated rate. Okay, so if it was a $100 bill, you might owe $15 for the 15%. Who is this plan for? It's for budget-minded people. You're going to save about 20 to 30% in premium. It still provides very predictable expenses. You don't mind assuming a little more risk. You understand the excess charges. And again, this plan is going to have rate increases as well. However, this plan typically attracts a little healthier crowd. So you might see smaller rate increases than you would with Plan G. So that's another nice advantage of Plan N over G. All right. And then finally, Plan HDG. This is a plan you probably will not hear about. Okay. And the reason being, it's about 60% cheaper than Plan G. All right. So what is this plan? Well, the simplest way to understand it is to pretend you just have original Medicare. All right, so you carry your red, white, and blue card around with you. You carry your insurance card. Medicare, original Medicare pays for all your expenses, or you pay for all your original Medicare expenses until you get to $2,950. So that on this plan is going to include Part A and B. So on Part A, in the very beginning, I showed you that $1,736 deductible. So let's say you're in the hospital for 10 days. You're going to be out $1,736. You're now at $1,736 of your $2,950 max out of pocket. Now let's say, some doctors come in there and the Part B deductible is $283. Well, once you get to the $283, then you pay 20% of the Medicare negotiated rate for doctor visits. So anything outside of the hospital after you hit your $283, then you pay 20% of the negotiated rate. So any combination of A and B reaches $2,950, you're done for the year. It's a great plan for people that understand high deductibles. All right, so diving into that, again, you're going to save about 60%. I'll show you here in a little bit, which can save you thousands in a lifetime on premiums. So it's a great way to keep money in your pocket. If you're in good to excellent health, this is an awesome plan. If you've heard of Medicare Advantage plans, but you don't want to deal with the restricted networks, this typically has a lower worst case scenario. You just have a little bit of premium, but you're allowed to go to any doctor or hospital in the country that accepts Medicare. And again, they negotiate rates really well. And then let's say, you're coming into Medicare and you've been on a group plan for the last, 10 years and you've had a $5,000 deductible. Well, going back to my hospitalization of 10 days, on high deductible G, you're out $1,736 for the Part A deductible. We know on your group plan, you're going to be out to $5,000. You're done. Medicare's Part A and Part B deductible play first as primary, and any combination, again, hits that $2,950, you're done for the year. And then the people that really love this plan, they already understand the high deductible that I just was talking about, but they also might have a health savings account as well. And if you have that health savings account, let's say you have $50,000 to $100,000 in it, you can cover that $3,000 for many, many years and never have to worry about it. So why give money to the insurance company for no reason when you can keep that premium in your pocket and you have the money to pay for your expenses with your HSA? So really good reason why you would like plan high deductible G. So I'm going to show you some old rates here from 2022, and I'll show you some adjusted rates just to kind of give you an idea of how inflation's worked in the last couple of years. In 2022, the high deductible G was $2,490. Okay, it's now $2,950, so it's gone up almost $500. All right, the Part A deductible really hasn't jumped that much though, and neither has the Part B, and that's what you really got to concentrate when you're looking at high deductible G. All right, the Part B deductible still it's $283. And this particular year is probably like $257. So again, it doesn't jump nearly as much as you might think. So what I did is took a healthy male, it doesn't matter if he's healthy or not, a male aging in at age 65 in Cincinnati. He paid $34 for a plan in 2022. If that same person was going to get Plan G, they'd pay $120. All right, so it's almost a little over $1,000 difference in annual premium. Now, I did a 6% rate increase for 16 years. The premium difference over 16 years was $26,493. At that time, you could have 10.6 bad years out of 16 and still come out ahead with high deductible G. All right, so that's assuming just a 6% rate increase. That's kind of conservative when you come to Plan G because it's pretty adversely affected. All right, and what I mean by that is people that get G typically are really unhealthy or they just don't care, they want the best plan and they're willing to pay the premium. All right, so this plan can be adversely affected. People that get this plan are healthy, so conservatively speaking, 6% might be high in some years on rate increases. All right, so I don't know what rate increases are, and people that try and predict them, they're just blowing fluff. There's no way to predict rate increases. If anybody says they can, well, they're better than I am because, I've touted insurance companies for years and years, and then all of a sudden they have a 20% rate increase. And so, you just never know. But Let's look at some inflation now. So look here, $34, 120, 2022. Let's look at 2026 rates. $139 for Plan G now versus 120. 46.91 versus like 34 that I just was at. So over a 16-year period, this only shows 14, unfortunately, but over a 16-year period, I think it was like about around $355 versus 119 on this. I could send you this picture if you want down the road just to clarify it a little bit more. But so, I mean, you could still have 10 plus bad years and come out way ahead on premium, $100 a month versus $355 or $119 a month at year 16 versus like $355. That's a huge savings. It'll almost cover the entire $2,950. You're just giving the money and the insurance company money for no reason. So I'm a big fan of High Deductible G, as you can tell, but they're all great plans. And as we go to the next page, it really just boils down to your risk appetite. Everybody has a different risk appetite. And if you're at peace of mind paying more for premium and you know you have the best plan, then go with G. But if you want to save some money, High Deductible G makes a great option. It's not often brought up because we make a commission on a percentage point from the premium amount. So, you know, I could sell you a $140 plan, or I could sell you a $46 plan. I'm going to make a lot more money on the 140, and that's why a lot of agents don't bring up High Deductible G. But it's my duty to do it. It's my service, and you know, it's a great plan. And N is that perfect plan in between as well. Again, you have freedom to choose your health coverage, your health care. You go to any doctor or hospital basically in the country. So if you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. If you want to reach out to me, you can come to chrisruhm.com. I got a quote form page, or you can call or text me and we can discuss your Medicare needs. Again, Chris Ruhm, Ruhm-Insurance Agency. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.